Is that me?
We got to do the.
Yeah.
It's tradition now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Geek the F Out. I am Johnny. Kayla is going to be here, but she is running behind.
Stuck in
In the meantime, we are joined by, to my right, though it's my left, that side, is Marc from Richmond Way, and on holding us up, keeping everything, all the weight on his backs, Chris Plastic from Shawnee Plastic People. How are you guys?
Great. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, doing pretty good.
We are glad to have you. I'm sure Kayla's glad to have you too. So this is we are finally getting back to Stranger Things. We finished our coverage of Lost. I have a new chair. It's not squeaky.
Ooh.
I lost my train of thought. We finished all of Lost. Covered the Getting Lost doc, which was unreal. It was amazing. So now we're back to the most recent season of Stranger Things. Tonight we'll be starting with episodes 1 through 3. We'll go clockwise around. Marc, what's your history with Stranger Things? How did you get into it? What have you liked about it so far? All that jazz.
So season 1, I didn't start like right away. I remember when that came out. I think I told you guys this when I joined for season 3, season 2,
maybe 2. I feel like it might have been 2.
2, yeah, but one of the seasons. But yeah. So like it started that one kind of late. My son was like super into it when it first started. You went as 11 for Halloween that year because he had a shaved head. We got him the dress and the jacket, and he walked around, and the white Converse and the socks, and he went full 11. Did the blood under his nose. And then even went to a con that year here that way too, and had a ton of people asked to take pictures with him. So
nice.
He was
cool.
he was enjoying it a lot. And then in the past few years on Stranger Things Day, which is Will Byers' birthday, I brought him when we still had an Alamo here. They showed the finale, of season 3. So that was cool to see the finale of season 3 on a big movie screen, because that finale kind of works really well, almost as a movie in and of itself. And then obviously then when this season came out, watched that. And I'll say the way that I liked how this season dropped made it easier to remember the stuff that happened in it, because they did the 2-part drop for this season, where they did the first 2/3 chunk of it that dropped, and then those last 2 episodes, which prepare yourself, Johnny, because I know you haven't gotten there yet. But
they're long, I know.
Yeah, they're 2.5 hours each ish. So just prepare yourself for those. But yeah, also they did release the Server Boy pizza when the season came out, and the pineapple and jalapeno pizza is very good. I will recommend that to anybody.
Interesting. Before we get to Chris and his history, let's say hi to the chat. Nick Dillinger's here. Quip is here. Derek Hoover is here. He'll be joining us later in the season. Not next week, but I think the following week. MK Nay, that's a new name to me. Hi. Quip, we said already, and that's it so far. This is it's interesting because while I have not watched this season yet, well, aside from these first 3, I didn't avoid anything. Like, I was watching everybody's coverage. I was watching, like, Jay and whoever it was he had, the guests he had on Screen Geeks talking about it. Like, I didn't avoid. I watched Screen Crushes, like, recap and Easter egg episodes. So, like, I know, like, basically everything that happens.
Okay.
I don't really remember most of it. But, like, I remember getting a little ahead of ourselves at the end of the third episode when, like, Vecna starts talking to Max. I'm like, oh, that's right. There's a whole big thing with her, and she needs to be saved and stuff. I vaguely remember. Kayla says she will be here soon. Holdo Maneuver is also in the chat.
Yeah. Patrick had Egos for people asking. He carried around Egos.
Yeah, so it's a weird one because I absolutely did not avoid spoilers, and I was watching people talk about it just because I needed stuff to listen to while I was working, and I just had people's stuff on. So some of the stuff is in there, some of it isn't. So, Chris, what about your history with Stranger Things?
So I started season 1 a little bit late, mostly because my wife doesn't like horror. But she was like, oh, I've heard good things. I like 80s Stephen King stuff. Like, let's give it a go. And so since then, we've been current with the show as it happened. I mean, my dumb butt bought the new Coke box that they put out for season 3 with the mall tie-in. Didn't have anything as fun as Hellfire Club then. Just overpriced boxes of Coca-Cola. And it turns out New Coke was terrible.
I vaguely remember the whole New Coke thing when it actually happened. Like,
right? No, I think as a kid, I'm like, yeah, this is better because I was a child and advertising worked.
Yeah, and it was funny when they referenced that last season, but yeah. I wish I would have been paying attention because I remember when Crystal Pepsi came back briefly a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
As like a viral thing. I remember Crystal Pepsi and actually liking Crystal Pepsi in the 90s when they first like released it. I remember because it must have been a test market. My sister had moved to Florida in the mid 90s and we went down to visit. And the soda machine at her apartment complex's pool had Crystal Pepsi. And I was like, what the hell is Crystal Pepsi? I want to try it. And I liked it. And then it went nationwide, and then it didn't last long. But anyway, Continue, Chris.
It was no Crystal Gravy. But, I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I've enjoyed it. It's kind of fun because Stranger Things takes place, like, this season takes place when I'm 2. So I don't have, like, that actual reference to it. But you know, my childhood is adjacent to so much of Stranger Things, so I get those ties, and so much of it feels familiar.
Yeah,
I was
just going to say the opening date that they show in this. Well, not the first opening date that they show in the first episode, but like the present day opening date that they show in this episode. I think I would be like 2 months old when that was happening.
Yeah, so. The first date, the earliest date is -4. So
there you go.
That's BC, B for Chris.
You know,
it was because they're talking a lot about like the class of '86, like so it's 1986. I was 6 years old, so I am the old man in the room here. So I remember a lot of like all of this stuff. There's also some anachronisms, and I don't know if it's because of like differences, because a lot of this season is in California so far. Like that Family Video that they're working in should probably be a Blockbuster. I never heard of Family Video until like the early 2000s when we got one where I live. I feel like it should just be a Blockbuster Video, but
I'm not sure the reach of Blockbuster in '86 either.
So
it should probably be a local mom and pop rental store, because that's what we had for the longest time. When did it first? I'm pulling up when Blockbuster first opened.
So Family Video was founded in 78, at least.
Oh, wow. It says Blockbuster was founded in 85.
Yeah, 85.
So Family Video would have been first. Okay. That's one of those things that, like, depending on where you grew up and what you're used to, like, it feels weird to me because I'm like, the preeminent rental chain in my brain is Blockbuster. I know Family Video exists, but...
I was going to say, Derek said it in the chat too, but I was going to say Family Video is probably more of like a Midwest chain.
There was also, the other one that I remember was Hollywood Video, which I think was more of a regional chain. I don't know if it was fully nationwide.
It eventually got there, and I think by that point it was about dead anyway.
I remember, here's a blast from the past. The Hollywood Video in my town was across the street from our Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips.
Ooh.
That is a sentence from the 1980s.
Arthur Treacher's is still around in like very limited markets. I was looking at it the other day.
I am not familiar with it, but Ma Plastic would tell me stories about working there when she was younger. So
Nice.
There are 3, as of March 2023, there's 3 standalone Arthur Treacher's locations remaining.
there you go.
Very good.
I remember it being neat because, like, the one, like, the front of the restaurant was kind of like a solarium, like it was just glass, and they had like a waterfall that went over it. That it always stuck out in my mind because of that.
So
Yeah, I was
just gonna
surprised
say, yeah.
how scary the first. I remember talking to Kayla. I was surprised at how horror based the first season was, because I didn't expect it to be that leaning that hard into like the horror vibes.
Yeah. This season, like, really, leans very heavily into the horror vibes. It's almost like a 80s slasher kind of vibes more to it than like any of the other seasons really had to it.
Well, and the rules are so different this season as compared to previous.
Mm-hmm. Well, they outright compare. I don't know what episode it is. It's probably the second, so getting a little bit ahead. But when Eddie's uncle talks about Vecna, he compares him to Michael Myers from the Halloween movies.
Right.
So it's very, very slasher, like final girl kind of horror movie thing. Kayla is backstage. I think she's still getting her last minute preparations ritual done. You drop the H when you need to be fancy. So it's Derek Uva.
Derek Uva.
I'm getting the thumbs up. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we're gonna play her on. She missed the dance music, so I'm gonna give it. Welcome, Kayla.
Hey.
Nice of you to show up.
Thanks for having me on my own show. We're here, we're queer, and we're ready to party. Yeah, sorry I'm late. Today has been a day.
Showing off
I
my
made the
Health
mistake
Fire
of
Club,
having
like...
coffee today, and I shouldn't have.
Ooh.
Oh, I've got my. Wait, where is it?
It does not want to. I was gonna say it does not want to focus on that.
No, because I have
Oh, there you go.
what call it?
One in a box and one out of the box. That's what they said.
Yes, Kayla actually was kind enough to procure this for me when she saw it at a Target, and a physical handoff happened when I was out there for Getting Lost. So wild.
Touch tips.
Just like MXM collection.
Exactly like that.
Here, Chris, put your finger.
Nope. There we go.
Here, we'll all go in the corner.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, there. I gotta. Trying to.
There we go.
There.
A 4-way tip touching.
You know, it's amazing how hard that is to do.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's like the cover of Incredibad.
But yes, I don't know if anyone, probably no one saw my reel that I did, but I actually got the makeup brand called ColourPop had a collab with Stranger Things that just so happened to just come out. So I used a bunch of that makeup on my face. I was gonna do a video, but since I was already running behind, I was like, I don't have time to do that. But so this is the lip that I'm wearing. So it pretty much is like clear because it's yellow, although this light is making it not look yellow somehow. Anyways, there's sparkly fun things in there.
MK likes your MU.
Makeup.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah, it took me a second to figure. I'm like, MCU?
Well, I'm
Wait.
used to seeing HMU on call sheets for hair and makeup on stuff. So.
Mm.
Or MUA, which is makeup artist.
That too. Yes.
So
I just saw "Don't cross the swords" in the chat.
Yeah.
touch tips.
Always.
This
cross
is the
swords.
Skeletor from that Stranger Things. So he's not. He's a little different. His coloring is a little different from a normal.
Little
Skeletor.
pale.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, that's just Skeletor.
Yeah. He's got some. It's hard to see, but he's got a little bit of pearlescent kind of glitter in his
Eyes.
baldric. I don't know.
Oh, his hood. Yeah,
His
that. Yeah, I know-
balls.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eyes.
You know,
His
usually
eyes.
the same spot.
Holes. Is that what
This.
you're talking about, Johnny?
The armor.
Oh.
Like there's a little bit of
Yes.
like a pearl. It doesn't come across as well on camera, but there's a little bit of pearlescence to that, which is not in the
Was it
normal one.
Vecna that He-Man comes with? I'm trying to remember
Yes.
who he's. And yeah, He-Man is very, very pale.
Yeah,
That's
it like he needs to see a doctor.
Well,
Or-
is he supposed to be like in the upside down?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be like He-Man in the Upside Down. I think he's almost gray, but
Skull.
that Vecna is cool. He's going to be a cool figure. I have mine pre-ordered at Target, and they have not
I didn't even
canceled
know
it
of this.
yet.
I've been so out of things. I didn't even know
Oh.
of this. I've been so out of things. You're gonna have to send me the link. Is it still available even?
I doubt it.
I'm gonna
I mean, you should probably see it at your Targets, just like you found this set, because it's going to be a Target exclusive. So
Anyways, so this is the palette, which is, I'm a really big fan of the packaging. It also, like, it's hard to tell, but it sticks
Oh,
out.
it's, like,
It's not just
embossed.
shiny. And then the names are super fun, like Waffle Thief, Chief of Police, Gone Missing, Castle Buyers, D&D, The Gate, Demogorgon, Alien Vines, Hungry for Blood, Alt Dimension, The Upside Down, Hive Mind, The Void, and get off of there. Like this one has a, come on, focus, has a waffle indent in it. This one has 11. And then this one has the Demogorgon, which I used some of this today, so it's not as pronounced as it should be. But yeah, and then it comes with like these highlight drops. And then I like never use, for anyone who doesn't know makeup, you can use like cream or like liquid blush, or you can use powder, and I usually just use powder. This looks more purpley now, but normally it's black. And it turns like purple, so my middle finger is still kind of stained from that. So it's like color changing. I didn't use this, but I thought this was super fun. It's a waffle like lip thing.
Does it taste like waffles or like maple syrup or something?
It does smell maple syrup-y, I will say.
that's a word.
Fun word.
Maple
Fun word.
syrup-y. But yeah, the packaging is super fun. Just like with toys. What the fuck just fell? I swear to dick. But like the packaging is like super cool. I love it. Love, 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 love. That's it. All right,
Nice.
we can move on. Everyone that I've now put to sleep. Talking about makeup. After I made everyone wait, and it is.
There's
already
at least
well,
a dozen fans of the makeup talk.
Mm-hmm.
There's dozens of us.
Singles upon singles of them.
exactly.
Singles.
But
all right.
anyways, let's get into it. So as usual, we'll be breaking down the episodes. I'll try to go somewhat fast. We'll see. It always. I'm too detailed. I'm too detail oriented to like not include everything is the problem. But yeah, I will do my best. And if anyone has anything they want to say about certain scenes, please speak up and make your voices heard. Sound good?
Oh, if I grimace or make faces, my sciatic nerve is still bothering me, so that's probably why. If I have to get up and stretch, I'll turn my camera off.
And you said if you grimace, I thought you were going to turn purple too.
That'd be great. I could turn purple. Maybe if I eat enough of these
Oh, if you eat that ice cream.
blueberry yeah, or the upside down ice cream, right? Which
Or get Kayla's
again.
makeup. Just put it all over your face.
Cause people to just robble.
Nice.
Where did I put
Some good ASMR.
Purple. Anyways. Okay.
Johnny's nuts are good ASMR.
Kayla, I got a new chair. It doesn't
tell me you
squeak.
have ADHD without telling me. Thought mine was bad today. Glad I'm not alone.
You just weren't here when I
Anyways.
talked about it earlier.
Thank you. Okay, so episode 1, the Hellfire Club. We have a flashback to September 8th, 1979 in Hawkins' lab where Papa is running experiments on a kid and using him to spy on other kids when something starts happening and he sees everyone being killed and goes to the Rainbow Room and finds 11 standing there thinking she did it. And my first note is Papa's home. And this opening is very a la the premiere of season 2 of Lost with Desmond. Anyone have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I have lots. I was
Okay.
so the first thing I wrote is, will these crossword puzzle answers come up all season?
Real quick, did you let people know this is your first time watching Stranger Things and this is the whole premise of this show?
Oh yeah. Well, we talked about it a little bit,
Oh, you
but this
did.
one's weird because I didn't avoid spoilers for this season. Like I watched people's coverage of it and like discussions, and so like I was spoiled on a lot. I know a lot of stuff. So my first thing is like, will these crossword puzzle answers come up all season? I haven't checked, but I don't think so. And the next thing, the very next thing I wrote is, who is this pretentious fuck? Because
I've heard that a lot.
sitting down at the kitchen table with a fucking egg timer doing the crossword puzzle, I'm like, Jesus, dude. And then I'm like, oh, it's Elle's dad.
Elle's daddy.
Then I realized it was a flashback, and there were a lot of fucking kids in there. At first, I thought maybe it was like 8 escaping, like that we were actually going to follow up on 8, and that this was like her and them breaking out. But no, I guess it's just supposed to be 11, which they had to get. They obviously couldn't use Millie for this scene.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is that supposed to be 11, or is that a different kid? So I wasn't 100% sure.
It hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, the de-aging for Millie Bobby Brown on this season is kind of interesting.
Yeah, like it's pretty good, but I don't know. I feel like they could have done a better job with it, but also they had a lot of CGI to use for Vecna, so
Yeah.
Wait, was
the
that
upside down.
so? Was that her de-aged, or it was another kid? I assumed
So
it
they
was a
used
different
another
kid.
kid that looked a lot like her, but they still like put her face on there, kind of like they did with Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, they Nick
Gotcha.
Cage,
Like they had
John
another
Travolta her
actor. Yeah.
face.
pretty much.
Chris knows.
Did you have any thoughts, Chris, on this opening scene?
I actually didn't quite think of it as spying on the other kids. He was trying to use that as kind of a fact check because he was writing his notes and was probably going to go.
I mean,
check.
That's what he would tell Chris Hansen.
It's true. He's not just trying to meet little boys in other rooms. No, this is kind of our first time seeing the facility as being more than 11. So that was really interesting to see all these other kids. And I just couldn't help but think of all the fun little practical effects they were doing when he was going into the room. You had the kids controlling the metal marbles, the top spinning. I'd like to think that was a fun room to walk into before filming.
Yeah. Did anyone look for 8 in there from season 2?
She was probably in there.
I was looking, but I didn't see her. Because, like I said, I expected that it was like her breakout.
I vaguely remember, at least from this first episode, that I don't think we can see her in it. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I wasn't super paying attention. Sorry,
Chris, the downside is that 9 couldn't be there because,
7,
8, 9.
Yeah.
I had to.
Johnny laughed. Hello. Dad jokes galore. Hi, Duchess. Thanks for joining us. That was great.
I need like a rim shot sound effect. Boom.
A what? A rim what?
A rim shot?
A rim shot. Yeah.
That's
what it's called.
Does anyone do a good job at that?
Rim job. Anyways. Moving on, back in present day, March 21st, 1986. Whoa, excuse me.
Whoa.
I don't want to be circular. I want to be rectangular.
There's 4 glory sushi holes on the screen.
Anyways, March 21st, 1986 in California, Elle's writing a letter to Mike updating him on her life, which pretty much serves the purpose of, updating the audience about exposition. Jonathan's a stoner with new friend Argyle. Will's been painting a lot. Joyce is working from home. And 11 says she is twice as happy and has lots of friends. But when they get to school, we find out that is not the case. Meanwhile, in Hawkins, Susie helps hack Dustin's grades. Steve and Robin are besties, and she has a huge crush on Vicky, who's in band with her. Lucas is on the basketball team, and they are going to a pep rally. Sorry. I thought it was funny that Steve knew that Vicky likes boobies because of where she paused last times. And just proceeds to say, she likes boobies. You like boobies. I like boobies.
Who doesn't like boobies?
No.
I just really appreciate that 11's grammar was getting good too also.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny.
I did write, one of my notes is that she was speaking more normally. Not 100%, but definitely more normally. One of the things I want to talk about this, what fucking school starts with a pep rally at 7 a.m.? I've never seen the very first thing of the day. Usually it's the last thing before school ends, but this is everybody's getting there and they're like the first thing they do is go to the pep rally.
I did have one of those when I was in high school.
Same.
I was going to say
weird.
Hawkins needed that.
It was weird, but it happened.
Also,
go ahead.
Nitpicking. That fucking mascot costume for a podunk town in the 80s, way too good of a quality. That shit needed to be nightmare fuel. That mascot, that tiger head looked like something you'd see at a furry convention or SDCC, not on the sidelines of a basketball game for a high school in the middle of fucking nowhere in the early 80s, mid 80s.
So you're calling for a 70s disgusting tiger head that's ratty at best.
Fuck yeah, they wouldn't have had the budget to get such a fancy fucking... This isn't fucking Showbiz Pizza. It's not those were expensive animatronics and they were nightmare fuel.
Or Chuck E. Cheese. Those are really nightmare fuel. I saw a meme the other day that compared the old Chuck E. with the new Chuck E. Cheese like mouse, and I was like, wow, times have changed.
Put some respect on that name. That's Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Charles Entertainment.
Charles Chesterton III.
Yeah, we didn't have. I mean, we definitely had like. They weren't called pep rallies, but they were essentially pep rallies, and usually they were end of the day. But we had like Spirit Week like twice a year, and at the very end of the week, like the Friday, and I think it was like one of them was homecoming week. Like pretty much the whole day was like a big rally, and it was like half a day. It wasn't like a full day of school, but so yeah, we just go straight into the rally. And I think like each grade had something to do, like either like dances or something like that. So it kept us going for a few hours, but yeah, so it did happen, but just not very often, you know.
Man,
I think if we were in the state championship or something like that, they may like make an exception, but I don't think it would be an all day thing or like start the day like this one did. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the basketball team captain, that kid can give a speech at a moment's notice. He is not afraid. Yeah. He will lead.
It was very a la Riverdale, where what's his face, Archie makes this speech about like, oh, you'll never get the rush of high school football or whatever the fuck he says.
I just also like the idea, and again, it's probably small town 80s vibe. Just be like, and I'm going to call out my girl Chrissy, because this is totally a normal thing that you do at a pep rally.
Mm-hmm.
That dude was too cool for school and so full of himself, and fuck him. Like, exploiting all those people's deaths for, like, cheering for a football game, as if winning basketball game, as if winning the game is gonna make a goddamn difference.
Yeah.
No,
we're gonna do it for them.
Stop grieving for Hopper, because they won the game.
Yeah.
Sports. Balls. Testosterone. Anyways,
that's
I thought it was
be
really
the best
cute
time
how... Yeah. I thought it was really cute how Dustin and Mike were fighting over whose girlfriend is better.
Well, it doesn't have that rad thinking gap.
Oh, yeah. That literally. Yeah, I do like how they give Dustin a new hat every season to basically sell more merch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Pretty much.
It's like, yeah, we need a new Dustin hat.
All right. Moving on. I'm going to go through like a few scenes because we still have 2 more episodes to go after this. We find out that the basketball championship game, as we've said, is that night, and also it's the last night of Eddie's Hellfire campaign, which causes tension between Mike and Dustin versus Lucas. Joyce gets a mysterious package from Russia with a porcelain doll in it, and we see Elle get bullied while doing a presentation about Hopper being her hero, which was just so fucking heartbreaking. Kids are the fucking worst. It gave me flashbacks and PTSD to my childhood and how bullying was told to be physical bullying and not verbal or any other type of bullying. So yay for that. And then we have...
Kayla.
I'm just going to go through this next scene and then we can say whatever. Okay. Max has been meeting with the school counselor to check in on her since her mom died, since Billy died. And she says her mom's been drinking and her stepdad took off, which thank God. And she's been getting nightmares, and Luke is very concerned about her since they broke up. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, remember who Will did his presentation on? You could say it was an imitation game.
You could go on tour about it.
Yeah. Just keep in mind who he did his about. It's being Alan Turing.
Johnny, I don't think.
What? I'm complete. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Also, can we take a
Do you want to
moment?
explain to Johnny what you're talking about?
Well, go ahead, Mark.
Well, today's an appropriate day to be talking about Alan Turing and Will Byers, but well, maybe not Will Byers.
I don't think Johnny knew who he did the presentation about.
I didn't.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Alan Turing. But
I was just gonna say, of course,
I still don't get it.
The main bully for
Look him up.
11 did a presentation on Helen Keller,
Angela.
talking about how brave she was in bringing attention to those who are developmentally behind.
Yeah, I was surprised that Angela did that, but
It went over her own head, her presentation, and she missed the point.
yeah.
I mean, usually with people that are like that kind of stuff does go over the point, because there's a lot of people that are fans of things that miss the entire point of what those things are about.
No.
I do that quite often.
Mm.
Because I can't see things sometimes. Any other thoughts? Moving on. Johnny, did you have anything about those scenes?
I hate Angela already.
Yeah, Angela
Yes,
sucks.
she is a cunt with the capital C. I don't use that word lightly. I will use it here.
I did like when they were talking about trying to reschedule the game because the D&D game because of the basketball game, and Dustin was like, "We are nerds and freaks." I'm like, "Yes, you are." And then the creepy Russian doll, like not even a Russian nesting doll, not even a Matryoshka, just as a missed opportunity. I felt. That's just me.
Would have been a lot more fun to have to go layer by layer to get to the
Yeah.
note.
I think that's it. Not that all that I have
Okay.
up to the presentations.
Really quick to clarify what I said. So when I said the people that miss the entire point of what the things are that they're watching the things about, in that basically the people that would like watch Star Trek or
Yes.
like watch Ted Lasso per se, or something that's about
Or The
like being
Boys.
kind. Yeah, or something that's like about being kind, or like, you know, like,
not the boys.
yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second. But like, you know, like stuff like where it's like about being kind, or you know, like being inclusive of every people. But then you like watch that, and then you're still a person that like gets pissed off about them being inclusive, or
Yes.
spreading kindness and stuff. Or
That was my tongue.
with the like you were saying with the boys, like people watching that and like be like, wait, are we the baddies?
Yeah.
I will give you guys a hint. So something that you don't have to dance around. I know already that later in the season, like Will comes out as homosexual, like he's
And we've
gay.
talked
I
about
know that.
this
Yeah.
previous seasons too.
Well, and we get those hints even early on, because
Yeah.
11 thinks that he's painting for a girl, someone he's got a crush
Yeah.
on.
It makes me wonder because once I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but well, I'll save it. I'll talk about it then. Continue,
Okay.
Mark. You've been redeemed.
Thank you.
No, I knew what you were talking about. It's just funny because like sometimes I feel like I don't see like the deeper meaning or like the metaphors or symbolism.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but the other thing. Anyways, so we have new character Chrissy, who's a cheerleader and dating douche b-ball Captain Jason, and she is having hallucinations of her mother/monster, who we find out is Vecna, linking to her eating disorder. And we meet Eddie, who's reading an article in Newsweek about the satanic panic around D&D, and Dustin and Mike ask Eddie if they can postpone their last meeting. They find out that, we find out that Eddie's had to repeat senior year a few times now. And then we have Joyce trying to get help from Murray about the weird package. we find out Nancy can't go visit
Sorry.
Jonathan anymore in California, but he can't go visit her either. And, you know, their friends think that that's weird on both sides of things. And then we have Mike and Dustin are trying to find a sub for Hellfire Club and that whole thing. My notes are Murray telling Joyce to undress the doll while he gets undressed. I thought was very fitting. My next note is I forgot how much I love Argyle. He's the best. And I loved Dustin's line. Dustin's line of, "You're just jealous because I have an older male friend." Another older male friend to Steve. That was funny. Anyways, go ahead. Thoughts on those scenes?
You know, it's a shame that Max really didn't want that T-shirt because it's a great T-shirt.
It is a great T-shirt. They've made a lot of money from it.
I think any scene that has Dustin and Steve in it is always great because those two, like in a scene together, are just funny with the way that they play off of one another. When Stranger Things ends, if they cast Gaten Mazzarato and now what the hell's Steve's real name? That guy. I feel bad. Yeah, they put both of them like in something else, like in like a movie or something together. I think that would play really well because those two have pretty good chemistry. It's like they could play brothers.
I think we should reimagine Perfect Strangers with them.
There you go.
Joe Keery.
Joker. There you go. Yes.
Jokery.
There you go.
We need a Jokerized Steve figure. Get Todd on the phone,
we?
Chris.
Do we?
That'd be pretty easy.
I was also trying to remember the name of his band, but I couldn't either.
Not Mouse Rat.
Not
Free
Mouse
Guy.
Rat. But in real life, Joe Curry has a band.
Yeah. I think they had a song on the Free Guy album too.
Freebird?
No, Free Guy. Well, yeah, that'd be funny if it was Freebird and Free Guy. And they're playing Free Fallin'
Free falling.
as they were free balling.
Post Animal?
Malone.
Post Animal Malone.
He was in a band called Post Animal and then released some solo stuff.
But his solo stuff has gotten radio play, at least on like satellite radio.
I don't listen to radio anymore. You would have
Put
to
those-
tell me.
Put him in. Well, actually,
ahead,
you know,
Johnny.
to get him and Guy and Mazzarato could be in something together because Gaten did all the musicals when he was younger too.
Oh, yeah.
So two of them could do a musical together. Just let them do that. It's a musical of Perfect Strangers. There.
Johnny, you were going to say something?
I said one of my notes is because they start to play. It's right after I wrote I Hate Angela already that they start to play Running Up That Hill, that song. I'm like, oh God, Running Up That Hill. And then I remembered like that's a big thing this season, but that song by itself is never good news when it plays. That and Mad World, you know you're in for a bad time. So I don't think they confirm it till later. Did we know before the end of last season, like had Lucas and Max already broken up? Or is that new this season? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
I think
I
that
don't
happened
think-
between.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It happened between?
Like because she was like dealing with like the grief of her brother dying.
Yeah, because I wrote down Max and Lucas are obviously not doing well, and then later, like she says because I broke up with you or something like that. I'm like, did we know that or not?
Yeah, I think it's definitely in between.
Call back for Chris. It's New Coke. That's what it is.
That's right.
Yeah. Or Coke 2. So, someone mentioned, I think they thought it was Coke 2 for a while, and I do think I remember that.
Well, yeah,
there was a period of time when they were both on the market.
Right. They decided you still wanted the sequel.
And yes, the good old Satanic Panic.
Yes.
I was before that I was trying to figure out what was wrong with Chrissy. Like I saw her walking out of the like counselor's office. I'm like, is the like school counselor like abusing students or something? What's going on? And then I'm like, wait. And then she was throwing up in the bathroom. I'm like, wait, is she pregnant? And then they had the line, like, she imagined the line from her mom, like, got you like the fat pig that you are. And I'm like, oh, no. She must have, like, a eating disorder, bulimic. Like, I'm trying to figure out exactly what her issue was.
Yeah, she definitely has bulimia,
And then
unfortunately.
at the lunch table, when they're talking about, did you cover this already? They talked to Eddie about postponing the game.
Yes.
The dude that's like, over my dead body, like, I fucking lost it.
So good. He's like so serious. He's like,
He's hilarious.
Not today, Satan.
He was great.
Well, if they're in league with Satan, then it's yes. Today, Satan, this is happening.
Yeah.
Why are your claws so cold?
You know, obviously.
It's a pro Satan situation.
Hi. Does my lip stuff smell good? Apparently. Anyways, moving on.
I have to grab something that I forgot to grab while you're covering these
Are
next
you gonna
scenes. I'll be right back.
listening to what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just checking. All right, go ahead. So we have, yes, Chrissy meets Eddie in the woods to buy some weed from him, but she sees a clock in the tree on the way and confides in him that she feels like she's losing her mind, which he's like, that's every day of my life. And then Eddie cheers her up, but she asks for something stronger. The cunt trips Elle, making her drop her diorama, and Elle tries to use her powers on her, but they're still not working, so everyone makes fun of her even more. Joyce uses a paint can on a rope to break open the doll in case it's an explosive and finds a magazine-coded letter inside saying Hopper is still alive. And then we have, the championship b-ball game where Tammy, who Robin had a crush on, sings the national anthem, which I thought that was a funny callback to last season. And we have Lucas making the game-winning point. And at the same time, the Hellfire Club, we have Queen Erica walks in with Dustin and Mike wearing an American flag, LOLOL. And Vecna is back in campaign. Do not throw up on me. Dustin misses hitting Vecna, but Erica rolls and hits, and they win. I know, exciting. And I think we'll take a break there. We're almost done. I'll just finish up the rest. We have Max taking care of her mom, and she goes to feed the dog outside in cage when she sees Eddie get home across the way with Chrissy. And Chrissy asked Eddie for Special K, which I was like, that's a big step up from weed. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well,
but
what
honestly,
is Special K? I mean, that's pretty good cereal.
Cereal.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The cereal.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
I almost ordered some the other day because I've actually
cereal.
really been craving it.
Got real strawberry in it.
I'm a naive
the
little boy. I
strawberry.
don't know any of this stuff.
It's a band, isn't it?
Angel.
Yeah, special. Yeah, actually, it is, isn't it?
Or a song, or an album. I forget.
I know it's probably a few
Okay.
things. Special K.
But she starts to hear the clock again and starts hallucinating her mom and her dad and just starts freaking out, and she freezes, and Eddie tries to snap her out of it, but Vecna gets her in her hallucinations, and she rises up in the air, and her limbs just start snapping all different directions until her brain and eyes are finally smushed by Vecna. And R.I.P. Chrissy, justice for Chrissy. Real quick,
really
my
flexible.
only notes are Erica is back, baby. And I thought it was fun how the Sinclair family won both games.
Yeah.
That was cute. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when Max is like walking around and taking care of her mom, there's a character named Billy on the TV who says, "This is your old friend Billy talking," and seems to be trying to get a girl to do drugs on the show. I couldn't quite understand what was going on, but anyways, those are my only notes. Y'all go ahead.
You know, it's a shame that Chrissy was brought in just to be fridged. That's never cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. They seem to do that
I didn't notice the
every
Billy
season.
thing. That is clever. Also, Captain Douche demanded the ball for that final play.
Oh, yeah.
And it
Of
just...
course.
He's probably also usually demanding the ball late other places.
That got Johnny's
That would be
approval
right.
there.
I don't remember if
Probably-
this was.
That's probably... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just... That's probably why that dude's so angry. Is that he's got all that pent-up, like, frustration of things that he can't, like, actually do. Because it's the 80s, just like Robin can't be who she really wants to be. He can't be who he really wants to be. So he's, taking it out on other people.
Possibly. It's
probably tearing him apart, is what I'm saying.
Tearing me apart, Lisa.
When I'm with you,
Tearing him apart at the seams. Tearing him in two.
So I had about this was still at the lunch table, and I don't remember if this was, but when Eddie says to Dustin, "You were wearing a Weird Al t-shirt," which I thought was brave, and Dusty's just like, "Thank you." And then when Argyle calls Jonathan Mopey Dick,
yes.
The worst part is I just bought Weird Al tickets like a week ago.
it's a great show.
Weird Al rules.
Joyce must look like an absolute fucking wacko to her neighbor.
Yes. She's like, come on, kid.
I mean, she always kind of does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
This is actually
Well-
the most together she has been in the entire show.
That's true. But also where she lived before, she was like further from her neighbors, so I feel like
Yeah.
now it's just like in their faces. Like, I couldn't imagine if one of the neighbors saw her like stringing up all the lights and shit. Like, especially, when it's not Christmas.
You know what? They probably would have given her a pass. Her kid just disappeared.
It's true.
So, and then the last thing I have is just my own question. So, who or what in the fuck is what they call Vecna? And it always feels wrong to me because I'm very familiar with Vecna.
Yes.
I'm extremely familiar with Vecna.
Are you familiar with Vecna?
Don't break anything.
Maybe.
All right. I do see a hand there. Maybe
Yes.
you could be familiar with him in that
Put
way.
it back.
Good luck with that one.
Has Vecna given you a Stranger Things?
I haven't tried to cut my hand off to attach this yet, or poke out my eye
Maybe eventually.
yet. But someday. And then I'll have phenomenal cosmic powers. But,
And
yeah,
the itty-bitty
so,
lip face.
yeah. Aladdin.
It really was a Stranger Thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so it's weird to... It was a similar thing with the Mind Flayer last season. Like, it's not exactly a Mind Flayer.
It's just convenient. It's the campaign they played.
Yeah.
They were able to bring him down when Erica threw the nat 20.
Yeah.
To the death.
The church bells. There you go.
For whom does the bell or clock toll?
Chrissy. R.I.P.
Yeah. She's not the only one.
Rest in peace, Barb. Justice for Barb.
Justice for
Yeah.
Barb!
Justice for Barb. Where's Ellison? We need her justice
You know,
for Barb.
Just real
Where's
fast,
Bob?
Chrissy
How about
breaks
Bob?
a
Well, she's
trend.
moving, so...
Oh, that's
for
right,
Bob.
yeah.
Justice for Bob.
Let's see.
Justice
Wait,
for
we got to do the There we
Who
go.
was the guy last season? Alexi.
Alexi.
Yeah, Lexi. Yeah, you drink your Slurpee. Maybe Billy. You have to be a Power Ranger after, so it's okay.
Right. He not only was a Power Ranger, he led the Power Rangers.
That's right. That's right.
He's doing
Justice for
fine.
Muse.
He made sure
Justice
that
for
Krispy Kreme didn't
Muse.
get taken out.
Justice for Girdle.
Yertle Yertle.
You know,
Yeah.
We found out that Yertle actually did survive, but it was unclear in the first or second season.
so
Was the second season the one
he
with
made
the?
it.
Yeah, it was the second season. Yertle made it.
Nice.
What were you saying, Chris?
I don't even remember now. Oh, I was just gonna say Chrissy breaks a rule in that her name
breaks a
doesn't
few
begin and end with the same letter, like a Barb or a Bob.
I mean, Alexi's doesn't.
Yeah, the A is silent on the end of Alexi. It's actually Alexia.
Okay.
They still
I'm
want
just putting
everyone's-
this together now.
Sure, Jan.
So,
They still want everyone's AI to go off, and they were talking about him the entire season.
If you are referring to the Vecna thing, I'm totally gonna be that
He
guy.
is.
I was that guy last from season 1 and 2 and 3. I've been that guy.
Let Johnny live his life.
It's clear that
Let Johnny nitpick.
it's clear that the Duffer Brothers like D&D. I mean, Cast
in
the
the
Terrible
show.
got a shout out. Like that fucking scene where Eddie's DMing and the kids are like, but Cass killed him. I'm like, fucking Cast the Terrible? What? So,
I think there's actually
All
like
right.
a Stranger Things branded version of Dungeons and Dragons you can buy now too.
there is. I have the starter set.
Okay.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Don't
I
worry,
didn't
next-
buy it. It was at Ollie's for like $4 and my friend picked it up for me. It was
next
before I
season-
had even started
You
watching.
and Ollie's. Not fair.
Next season, they're
Okay.
going to take on
Any-
Strahd. It's going to be a thing.
Any other thoughts on the end of this episode before we move on to the next episode?
Nope.
Sucks to be Eddie.
Yep.
Sucks more to be Chrissy, obviously, but sucks to be
Yeah.
Eddie too.
Yes. And thank you. It is not my dog, but thank you. I am dog sitting.
It doesn't
Hence why I
count
took
when
off
it's
the
not your
collar.
dog.
Yes.
You're not dog. it's
Oh,
Trish.
I do have a question. Johnny, I guess this might be better to ask after next episode because we don't
Okay.
quite get fully confirmation. Let me add that down here before I forget. So many notes. Oh, fuck. I hate this shit. Okay. All right, episode 2, Vecna's Curse. We see how Hopper jumped towards the upside down's bussy at the end of last season and survived.
That caught me off guard. As
this
they usually
happens
do.
every time to Johnny. Johnny, are you okay? Are you still not used to it?
It just comes out of nowhere so easily. It just,
That's what they said.
I never expect it.
Never
And
expect it.
No one
like the
expects the Spanish Inquisition.
There we go, Johnny. Yeah, there.
So the
Spanish
police show
casual
up-
chat.
The police show up at Eddie's the next morning, but Eddie is gone. Max sees Chrissy's body, and we see that that's someone at Hawkins' lab or just somewhere. I don't think at the lab anymore. Is listening to their convos. And Mike arrives in California for spring break and is greeted by Elle and has awkward greetings from Will and also awkward from Jonathan and Argyle too. And then Elle is continuing to lie to Mike about how great her life is there and Will is very concerned about it. Murray also arrives in California to help Joyce And we have Steve and Robin are working at the video store together, and she tries to get advice from him about Vicky when they see the news about, well, they don't know it's Chrissy, but they see the news about her. And Lucas is hungover with all the b-ball douches at what used to be Eddie's, which I don't know if you remember
Benny's?
is... Huh?
Benny's? Right?
Benny's, sorry.
Okay.
From season 1, Johnny.
That was
That
where...
was the restaurant.
Yeah, that's where Elle went first.
Mm-hmm.
Dude gets shot in the head.
Oh, right.
What's his face from
Benny.
Guardians? Laserface?
Oh, yeah.
Taserface?
Scrotum
Taser?
face?
Scrotum face. And let's see. So yeah, they're there, and they see the news about Chrissy, and the cops show up, and we can stop there. I think my only notes are when Jason says, "Thought we were watching Thundercats." I was like, I get that reference now. Very excited about it.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. I'm like, Thundercats.
I would not have known that before.
I like all the stuff that they have with Robin and Steve in Family Video. Because Netflix had the Blockbuster show on there. And I feel like that, like,
By our
this
good
time
friend,
period.
Taylor Morden.
Yeah, starring John Krasinski, you know, as the main actor in it.
I get that reference.
Yeah. Because I think that show should have been set in like this, like the late '80s, early '90s time period, rather than trying to make it like a present day blockbuster show, which was weird. But all the scenes with like Steve and Robin in the Family Video are written very well at like an actual set of like coworkers that are working at a video rental store that both like. I especially identify with Steve in these scenes because of like the way that he's talking about like all the movies that he's renting there, or like I was trying to talk to them about to like her or like the other people that come in. I was like, yes, this is how I was for 7.5 years working at Blockbuster. So that's why I like those scenes a lot in this. But yeah.
Well, I just enjoy that we learn who Will was making the painting for. Also, Argyle's gonna help him get those good threads. Don't you worry, he's gonna hook him up.
And probably some good
Oh
socks.
my god.
He's gonna need some socks.
Johnny, you looked confused. What about...
Maybe special socks.
I must have missed it. But did learn who Will was making the painting for?
Well, he had it with him at the airport.
He did, which I thought was odd, but then he said it was... Like, Mike asked him what it was, and he said it wasn't anything for just a painting. Like, this is one thing that, like, it's obvious that he's making...
Keep
Yes,
thinking, Johnny.
I understand. Like, because I have a lot in my notes. I'm like, does Will like Mike? Does Will have a crush on Mike? Because, and I don't know if I would have picked that up or not, if I hadn't known
Mike didn't.
that.
Yeah, Mike definitely did not pick it up.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
I don't think anybody else had. Jonathan is starting to wonder.
Well, and Mike specifically ducks the hug from Will, but Argyle gets in there for a long time because he's checking the tag. Ultimately, that's all he wants to know. He wants to know who made that shirt, and it's off-brand.
Yeah.
That's not...
Although Mike is oblivious to a lot of things.
Mike's a tool bag. Like, just
as he gets older, he gets more and more kind of oblivious to
Tool baggy.
things.
Yeah, I felt like he was just too embarrassed to give it to him. I agree. Quip. Like, once he got there, he kind of had a little bit of stage fright.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things just went wrong. You know,
Which
didn't get the
also-
hug. Didn't, you know.
If I'm guessing Mike is staying with them, right?
Yes.
Like, I get bringing, like, a poster or something saying, welcome to the airport, but, like, he could have just given him that painting when they got back.
Right?
I feel like that made it even more awkward. This is
I'm sure it was just that important to Will to give it to him, and it just
Can't
didn't
wait.
happen.
It
Has
was
to happen now.
too important to
Oh,
do him.
I think he was deflated by the fact that Mike had a bouquet of flowers for Elle, and he made a big deal about like I picked them, and then there was too much yellow, and you like purple. Blah, blah, blah. He made a whole
So
thing
it's a
about it.
70-30 mix.
Did you see
Yeah.
the note and Elle's expression on the flowers?
I saw the note. I didn't see her expression.
It's a to and from.
Oh
And
yeah.
She was like, oh.
See, and I'm going to argue with
Not used
Derek
word.
just because of going back to the first episode that, 11 thought specifically it was for maybe a girl that he liked. So I think she saw it as a romantic gift for someone.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I don't think Will knew that she thought that.
Well, no, I'm just saying
Oh,
that
oh, oh, oh.
her interpretation was it was a romantic gift, and it was a gift that was actually from Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the trail I'm creating.
Got it.
Unrelated, but something I also have written down from the very first part of the episode, and this kind of comes up later. Max seems to be taking an awful lot of Tylenol.
Especially for someone as tiny as Max.
Yeah,
It was the 80s, it's fine.
I
Yeah.
mean,
She's gonna
I
have
have
some
to take that.
bleeding.
I literally have to take a gram
going
of
on.
Tylenol minimum.
but yeah,
Since I
Argyle is great. The fucking Murray is hilarious. When he gets in the cab, the Hulk Hogan air freshener was perfect. And then the Thundercats call out, and that's where I'm at.
The air freshener probably smells like racism.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
Brother.
All right. Anything else
Brother.
about those scenes?
Nope.
Cool. So then we have Max goes to see Dustin, telling him about what she saw. After they went in the trailer, all the electronics started freaking out and went out, and she saw Eddie drive away looking scared. She thinks that something else killed her, and they head out to find Eddie. Meanwhile, Murray and Joyce decode the letter, and Murray thinks it's a trap to get Joyce to go there and capture her too. And this is when we see Hopper has gotten kidnapped and tortured by the Russians for information, which he doesn't have anything. And we have Elle, Mike, and Will go to the roller rink, and Elle pretends that that is a totally normal thing for her to do when we know it's not. And then the cops interrogate douche canoe Jason about Chrissy, and he finds out Eddie had something to do with it. And meanwhile, Nancy and her editor, I don't know his technical position, Fred Benson, go to the crime scene at the trailer park to talk to people, but Fred keeps hallucinating things. And we find out that Eddie's uncle thinks that it was Victor Creel who did this because it was very similar to the crime that happened around him many years ago. And we have Jonathan reveals to Argyle that he's going to a different college than Nancy. Dun, dun, dun. And at the roller rink, Angela and her friends film Elle while everyone skates around her and makes fun of her and throw a milkshake at her, which that was just fucking horrible. And they call her a snitch, which I'm like, she technically didn't snitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said it was an accident. Like and then the teacher knew she was obviously lying, but
yeah. So that was absolutely horrible. And let's see, I'll do one more scene. At Joyce's, Murray helps her call the number on the note, and they find out they need to go to Alaska and give some guy named Yuri $40,000. And Valor Margulis, Jack and Hagar is back, baby. I think that's my only note for those scenes.
oh, is that who that is? Huh.
And also, I was like, where the fuck is she gonna get this 40K from? And then when I rewatched it, he mentioned how that was the money he left behind for Elle, I guess, or something like that, in like some fund or something like that.
In a trust.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Real fast, the torture on Hopper, did this include the elephant yet? Was that at this point, or was that a little bit later?
I don't think so.
Well, either way, that elephant was not elephant.
I don't know anything about an elephant, so that must be
That's
later.
where they put the gas mask on.
Oh, yes, that it was.
And it has the big tube, and they pinch it to choke him out.
That was in this.
Fun pinching tubes.
Yeah, no, they
I thought you were talking about like an actual elephant.
No, they called it the elephant. Get the elephant.
Oliphant.
And they put it on, and it's gray.
Oliphant.
Heffalumps and woozles? What?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, what were your thoughts on these scenes, Johnny, watching them the first time?
I think Argyle is the only one with any common sense. I laughed, like, I forget exactly how he said it, but Jonathan basically said something, what am I supposed to do? Tell the truth? Yeah, don't lie to her, he says. I'm like, fucking Argyle, and he knows what's up.
Go get that purple kush.
Fuck those bullies. LOL at Lucas trying to explain D&D to the basketball team. Because I think that was in there somewhere, but I don't think you covered it.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. It was my sister. See, that's why I know all about it. Was because it's not me. It's her.
But she ain't Satan. She ain't into that.
Yeah. Don't do anything to her.
Don't worry. We get another speech, so it's all okay.
I do have here, I'm like, maybe it is just the best friend thing with Will and Mike. I'm unsure. Like, and then my next note is murder her with your bare hands, Elle. Just fucking choke her. Choke her out! Fuck these kids.
It's kind of Happy Gilmore.
Turns out the real monsters were the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The monsters were the kids we made along the way.
The Upside Down, those monsters are the good guys. The kids, the monsters.
You just ruined the ending. All right.
Bye,
everybody.
One of my favorite lines from a song is from good old Harvey Danger. Been around the world and found that only stupid people are breeding.
It's not wrong.
Good news,
usually don't
it's the
know how
only
to word
Harvey Danger
protection.
song most people know.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is their one hit. But it's I almost said a word that I don't want to use. It's a great song.
Is it a Harvey Danger?
Shut up.
Any other thoughts on these scenes? Anyone?
Nope.
Anyone?
Going once.
Nope.
Sorry, I burned it all on that Harvey Banger comment.
Sealer.
Sold. All right. The military arrives to investigate Chrissy's body. Meanwhile, Jason's trying to rally his cronies to go after the Hellfire Club. Dustin, Max, Steve, and Robin work together to try to find Eddie at the video store, and Robin uses their system to find Eddie's dealer that they think he's staying with. In Russia, Hopper is put in prison. Meanwhile, Joyce and Marie realize that he's there from the phone call. And once again, oh, never mind. Will and Mike try to find Elle, and Will gets mad at him for not reaching out more. Elle confronts Angela and the bullies trying to get an apology. It ends up hitting her in the face with a roller skate.
She fucking deserved it.
I made the Happy Gilmore thing too early. Sorry.
The Fab Four, as I'm calling them, arrive at Rick's place looking for Eddie and find him in the boathouse and tell him what's happened, and they realize that it's Vecna's curse that's been going on. And back at the mobile home park, Nancy, or trailer park, I don't know what the fuck to call it, Nancy can't find Fred, and he ends up getting cornered by Vecna and killed, and we pan out of Vecna's lair to see he is in the Upside Down in a house of sorts, which We don't know much about that yet, and that's the episode.
So that character Vecna takes out. What was his name again?
Fred Benson.
Fred Benson's like the epitome of a red shirt, right?
Yes.
They introduced him in this
Yes.
basically in this episode to kill him by the end of the episode. Okay, but yeah, like
briefly,
because he hasn't ever shown up before, right?
No.
Not that I recall. No.
So it was literally just.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely went to the Barb School of Nerding for sure. He definitely was one of the kids getting picked on in the background of Scooby-Doo at some point.
Yeah. When the officer talks to him and like turns into that monster, oh god, that's so freaky, that scene.
Oh, yeah.
And like
Yeah.
It's funny because like for anyone that doesn't really, I mean, most people experience anxiety obviously, but if people don't experience anxiety that badly, that's like how it feels. I feel like that's the best way to describe it, is like how this guy keeps talking to him. He's like, oh, you who murdered him, and just like you can feel it like building inside you, and like you want to like be defensive, but also like you feel like part of it is right in what he's saying. Yeah, they did a good job with that. Plus, yeah, it adds to the spoopiness of this season for sure.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it was closing time for Fred. They couldn't save tonight for him.
For a fight
For
to
our
break it
chat. No, it's just this episode did move pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely learned, about Victor Creel here.
Mm-hmm.
The eye loss going on in our characters. A quick I was gonna say, we actually see here a little bit of Vecna working his goods in the Upside Down here.
Working his goods.
And we see him actually physically
In the
connected to Upside
Yes,
Down, which
to the
is
network.
it's interesting.
Yep.
Although, I mean,
In his
this
house.
this season was famous for its closed captioning, with the like vines squelching wetly was like one of the closed
yeah.
captions. Vines squelching wetly.
It was great.
I need a pin that says that, because I've seen pins with other closed captions. You just need that one though. Yeah, like what you're saying with Vecna, it's interesting how very similar-ish to Freddy Krueger Vecna kind of is, with all that he can.
I wonder if somehow they'll tie into that with like some casting or something.
We'll have to see if it
Sorry,
Johnny
becomes
Johnny's
apparent.
Like, what? Also, I have not seen that movie. I know who Freddy Krueger is, but I have not seen that. I know.
I haven't seen it either.
So yeah, Angela fucking deserved it. Of course, Reefer Rick has a creepy outbuilding. And
I think that was the boathouse.
yeah.
Boathouses are always creepy inherently.
Yeah.
Vecna. So I had to like Vecna is a lich in Dungeons and
Strong
Dragons.
hand.
Technically Vecna depends on what point. Well, okay, so in their time period, Vecna is a lich. So he's an undead wizard. A lich is
Thank you.
so when a wizard gets very powerful, they go through a bunch of rituals with spells and make themselves an undead creature. So they don't need to breathe, they don't need to eat, they don't need to sleep. Their soul is trapped in a phylactery, which could be, think of it like a Horcrux.
Phylactery?
Yeah, it's a phylactery. It's like a Horcrux from Harry Potter.
Phylactery sounds like a weird name for like a butthole or something.
A phylactery.
They cut that off babies. It's common
factory.
in Jewish religion, removing the phylactery.
Or it sounds like a fellatio factory. It's either a
So-
phallic factory or a fellatio factory. Either way.
In
Year 12.
reliquary, like it comes from the Google says it comes from the
Damn chair.
Greek word phylacterion, which means amulet. But anyway, it could be anything. It's usually a jar. It's usually like a fancy urn or jar. Jesus Christ, Quinn. For fuck's sake.
I think that's
The
called
wizard
dick cheese.
performs rituals which put his soul into the jar. And typically yeah, thanks, Derek. It's a jar. That ship has sailed at this point. The lich hides the jar, because if you destroy the lich's body, just like his soul goes to the jar and he can over time remake his body. This Vecna is not a spellcaster. Like, this is like a psionicist, which would be like Charles Xavier or Jean Grey, kind of. It feels more like it's mental abilities than actually casting spells or using magic, which is, stretching. I get it. They fought Vecna in the campaign. And they did the same thing with the Mind Flayer and the Demogorgon. Whatever.
Similar to like Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, ish. Because, Wanda used the Darkhold, but more like...
It was Vecna all along.
It's really just more like...
It's Vecna all along.
Really just more like Professor X or Jean Grey. Like, that is what a psionicist would be, which would be closer to what this Vecna creature seems like. It's more mental, telepathic, and telekinetic powers than... Especially the, like, raising them up in the air and then turning them into a pretzel.
Well,
That's very...
puppeteering them with his vines from the other side.
Next episode, which we're about to talk about anyways, but I think it's then when we see into his mind, and it's very much like Cerebro. It's like copy and paste Cerebro of how he's trying to find people. Yeah,
it's much more like that but Vecna is much more iconic. The thing that I wonder, for D&D anyway, Vecna is like one of the biggest of the big bads in Dungeons and Dragons lore. So it makes me wonder what they're going to do next season. Although we dealt with the Demogorgon and... Did we deal with the Mind Flayer for 2 seasons?
Kind of. We dealt with the smoky version and the physical version of the Mind Flayer.
So I'll have to see what... I don't remember if they destroy Vecna by the end of this season, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, it definitely feels more like a mental superpower like ability than it does like using spells and curses and whatnot.
And we'll definitely talk about the mental aspect when we finish up the season, because I think that is obviously a big part of this season with mental illness and mental health. So, my question for you, Johnny, is, were you happy that Hopper was alive?
I already knew.
Were you surprised?
No, because I already knew he was alive, because that was one of the things that I knew from not avoiding spoilers when this was airing. I knew that he was alive.
I think that was one of the first like teasers that they released for this season too, because when it kept kind of getting delayed between like COVID and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to remember.
Because it was the first teaser was like basically it was just like a shot of like where Hopper is, and then like I think there's just like the last shot of that teaser was just showed David Harbour, like how like emaciated he basically is in that season.
All shaved head out in the middle of the field in his tattered blue coat.
He's full zaddy this season.
I do think it's funny. I don't remember what the timeline was, but him in this being a prisoner in Russia, and then in Black Widow playing Red Guardian.
Oh, yeah, like if they were very close.
Yeah.
He got to hang out in Russia and also be a Russian Guyovich.
Yeah, but I think he filmed Black Widow during or just after season 3 of Stranger Things.
Yeah, because he's obviously chunkier in Black Widow.
Yeah.
He is. He goes from dad bod to, what do they say in Thor: Love and Thunder?
Oh,
He goes from dad bod to.
God, Bob.
It was in. Yeah, I think. God
No,
bod.
I know what you're referencing.
It was in every fucking promo for Love and Thunder, and I can't fucking think of it. I think it's God bod.
Probably.
Something like that. Okay.
You
Anyways.
have to do it in the New Zealand accent when you say it, though.
I can't. I love New Zealand too much to.
Okay.
From daddy to zaddy. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Shall we move on to episode 3? Don't everyone yell at once.
Yes.
Oh,
All
yes.
right.
Yes.
Episode 3, The Monster and the Superhero. Dr. Owens gets a helicopter visit from the military asking for his help with Chrissy, and the military dude believes that Elle is responsible and still alive, and Dr. Owens is like, no? We pick up at the roller rink right after Elle had hit Angela, and Jonathan and Argyle pick them up and go back to the Byers, which I don't know why they didn't leave sooner. Like, why they're just standing around after that happened is so awkward. The douche canoe and crew start hunting for Eddie, and Lucas joins them. The Fab Four run into Nancy and dead Fred on the road. At the Byers, Elle tells Mike that she's different and she's a monster, and she calls him out for never saying love anymore, so that harkens back to the note on the flowers because he said from instead of love. Anyways, the cops show up at the Byers to arrest Elle, which, like, finally. Meanwhile, Joyce and Murray are taking off on their plane to Alaska. Hello, Vlad. We have a pussy on the screen. Hopper is working at the prison when Dimitri tells him, aka Jack and Hagar, tells him that Joyce is on her way. And I think I'll stop there. My notes for these scenes are, now I want honeycomb after Eddie was eating honeycomb. So I want honeycomb and Special K thanks to Stranger Things season 4.
Like
and they were watching the cereal. They were watching Ewoks on the TV in the room at the Byers. And I was like, that's so cute.
Yeah,
All
Big
right.
Cereal was definitely behind this season.
Yeah.
I agree with Argyle, though. That wound from the roller skate was probably largely superficial.
Oh, yeah.
But then later the cops say she had a
Grade
A
2
concussion.
concussion.
grade 2 concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
those
realize
cops
there
were
was
just hard
levels of
asses
concussion.
for whatever.
Oh,
reason.
yeah. Yeah. You can get real left up.
Like, I just thought you got a concussion.
Yeah, I think that the physical damage, though, was probably minimal. It was just a real bleeder.
Yeah. Who knows? Johnny, stop petting the pussy.
Makes them feel good.
I lost my train of thought. Where did we stop?
We stopped right before the Fab Five split up. Hopper is working at the prison when
Okay.
Dimitri tells him that Joyce is on the way.
So, my first thought, I'm like, fucking Nevada? And then the light came up, I'm like, Area 51? Like, what's happening? And I was like, oh no, then it's just Owens. Argyle's awesome. I love Murray. Joyce is an awful liar. Mike is not helping. And
Oh, Jonathan
guys-
and Argyle were so high. at dinner.
Yes, they
oh my god,
really
so
were.
high.
They say the guys say they just want to talk to Eddie, and that's it's just a Spanish casual chat. The untouched egos are very much a bad sign.
She doesn't want egos. You know shit's bad.
At least, and a little bit before that, I have at least them finding Fred's body might take heat off Eddie a little bit, because Fred's just kind of in the middle of the road, twisted into a pretzel. And then, how are they arresting a teenager and taking her away in handcuffs? I'm like, does Angela's family have connections? But I think we find out later exactly why. We find out near the end of the episode what happened and how that was all went down.
Yeah.
I just assumed 80s.
It was Owens.
He's just
That
mad
was-
about you.
Blah, blah.
Wait, what?
What?
When they come arrest Elle and take her away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they
Because
would
she's
do that.
juvenile.
She's not an
Oh,
adult.
No, they do that. They do that. It was Owens that set up for them to get her. I don't know if back then you needed an adult present. Because I think you can still arrest someone no matter what.
It felt
Someone check.
way overblown for all the more that happened. Like, she hit her in the
Doing
face with a
something
skate.
Overblown? What?
Yeah, no, a normal,
Shock.
average-looking girl hit a pretty girl, and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially in the 80s in California. How dare you?
She's gonna need
But
plastic
as-
surgery now.
As they're driving away, as the cops are taking Elle away, Mike says, "I'm going to fix this." I'm like, fuck off, Mike. You
Ow.
can't fix shit. Who the hell do you think you are? For fuck's sake.
Yeah, Angela's parents definitely have money.
Yeah, that's why I
For
was like, does her
sure.
family have connections?
Your hair
Something's
is not
going
that
on.
blonde without getting it bleached all the time. Just saying. Just saying. No one's actually, like, fully blonde. All right. Anything else before we move on to the next scenes?
That's all I had.
Cool.
That's all I have.
So the Fab Five split up. Nancy and Robin go off to the public library to look into Victor Creel. And then we have Dustin, Steve, and Max go to see Max's counselor at her home, which once again, as we talked about with Lost and Alex showing up to Ben's home, why are kids going to see their teachers at their homes? And technically she's not a teacher, she's a counselor, but still weird.
That does remind me, like, the Mike going, "I'm going to fix this." I'm like, are you fucking Jack? Like, I almost wrote that down. Like, who are you? Is your name Jack, Mike? No. Fuck off.
And she tries to get, or Max tries to get info from her counselor about Chrissy and ends up stealing her office keys and takes off, which I was like, I mean, I don't know if the counselor would know to look for the keys right away, but obviously she's like gonna eventually find out they're not there and put two and two together. So I was like, that's not the smartest plan, but all right. The douche canoe crew goes to Eddie's band where they're practicing to find him, and Jason beats up one of the dudes for answers, and he tells him to go to Dustin because Dustin was calling around. Ella's questioned by the cops, and she gets transferred to jail, but they get hijacked along the way by Dr. Owens and co. Comes in to save the day. Lucas gets in touch with Dustin and tells the douche canoes about where Eddie is, or, you know, we find out it's not actually where Eddie is. Murray and Joyce make it to Alaska. Meanwhile, Hopper gets his foot broken in order to get out of the ankle chains, which, yeah, that was hard to watch. I don't like that. I don't.
Nope.
For as many war movies I watched growing up, it's when, like, the bone sticks out or, like, things get contorted the wrong way that I want to throw up. Yeah, we'll stop there because there's not much more left after that. All right, thoughts on those scenes?
I lost my train of thought thinking about him breaking his foot.
Yeah.
It was really funny to see a dude smoking on a plane. Like, that obviously happened. You could do that.
Yep.
But it's just wild. I'm like, oh yeah. I thought it might be foreshadowing when Joyce was like putting her seatbelt on and she's like this is really gonna save me if we crash. And they didn't crash yet.
No.
And
He
after
wasn't yet.
when they transitioned from the plane to showing Hopper in Russia, like that music sounds very Spy Hunter to me. Made me think of the Spy Hunter game theme. We see the brief bit in the Upside Down. I don't know what they are. I'm referring to them as gargoyles. There's a fucking lot of them.
Oh, the
Demo bats.
Demo bats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yep.
Yes.
And Lucas is a goddamn fucking coward, and he is a piece of shit.
Yeah, at this point, we really don't know his true loyalties yet in the episode. The Upside Down is definitely Bat Country, for sure.
It's become Bat Country.
And don't forget, Police Academy 3 is terrible.
And I did write, fuck off,
Fade to black.
Lucas, parentheses, unless it's a misdirect, end parentheses.
Also, I just like that the jocks just kick the shit out of the kids at band practice when they're practicing. Like, that is ridiculous. Also, when they're like, we're just gonna convince him with this giant wrench. Nothing bad's gonna happen.
That reminds me of like the Family Guy thing where he's like, I just want to ask him a question. What are you gonna? I just want to ask him a question. I'm just gonna kill him.
All right, Lucas, you didn't know Chrissy. You didn't have to go.
My only two notes are when Steve says, always the goddamn babysitter.
Yeah.
And when Dustin goes to Steve, I'm missing collarbones, not eyes. That's funny.
You'll have to get teeth again. Too far. Too
Yeah.
far.
Yeah,
It's like,
that was
too
funny
far.
too.
Too far, Steve. Too far. Any other thoughts on those scenes?
No, that's it.
All right. Let's see. Murray and Joyce make it to Alaska. Oh yeah, there we go. While looking for clues at the library, Robin tells Nancy that her and Steve are just friends, and they find out that Victor Creel blamed a demon for the deaths of his family. I need a cough, so give me 1 sec.
One. Took more than a second.
It's
You're fired.
lingering. I'm sorry.
It's like was it cranberries.
No.
I got it.
Oh.
Don't worry, I got it.
Alright.
I'm there.
Okay.
Okay. At school, Max, Dustin, and Steve, they find out that Fred was also seeing Miss Kelly, the counselor, too, and Max realizes her file is very similar to those kids who died in terms of their symptoms. Lucas leads the douche canoe crew to Hopper's cabin as he escapes from them. So we see, he's not leading them to where Eddie actually is. And
It was a
Dr. Owens,
misdirect.
Dr. Owens, oh fuck.
I don't think Dr. Owens hears that much.
It's like a tickle. Dr. Owens talks with
That's
Elle,
what they
telling
say.
her about, okay, you're not helping. I just want to finish saying this so I can stop talking. Dr. talks with Elle, telling her about Chrissy and that Hawkins is in danger, and tells her he can bring her powers back and make them even stronger, and she needs to get them back in order to help them. Max walks through the school, hallucinating the grandfather clock. Ticking, chiming, whatever the fuck. Please talk now.
Facts.
Made it funny.
Excuse me for a moment.
It's the dog
As
being like, what is happening right now?
I'm gonna get scholarly for half a second before we get stupid as per usual. We're at the point now in Elle's journey where she is potentially in the hero's journey towards her rebirth after the metaphorical death that was losing her power at the end of the previous season, as outlined by Dr. Joseph Campbell, who I learned about from my English professor, Dr. Joseph Campbell, who is a different Dr. Joseph Campbell.
Wow.
That's as smart as I was going to get about anything. So it's done.
Oh, okay.
It's over now.
Nice. Also, was
Not
this,
everyone talk at once.
did we see the flashback yet? At this point, I'm trying to remember.
What I don't remember. The only flashback I remember is the
Which
one at the
flashback?
very beginning where
I don't know.
the
everything
doctor
blends
is
in my
doing
head.
the puzzle or
Okay.
the
So no, then okay.
crossword. All I have is go Robin for figuring out about the Weekly Watcher. LOL at them calling it Hawkins Gate. Interesting that Owens knows about Vecna. And yeah, it's cool that it was a misdirect. At least Lucas isn't a total, like, he's 90% a piece of shit. 10% saved himself for not actually sending them to wherever Dustin and Eddie are. And then, yeah, oh shit, Max is next. She sees the notes from the counselor. Both Chrissy and Fred were having headaches and nosebleeds, and she's remembering, and that's why she was taking so much Tylenol.
Max
Also,
was violating HIPAA.
how long has the counselor been there that she still has to have her keys labeled? I know what my work keys are. I don't need a label on the ring to know,
Hey.
like, office keys.
Be nice. That's all I'll say.
Depends on how
We're
many
all
keys she has.
different. God, it's still fucking tickle in my throat. Fuck.
That's what they said.
No, that is not what they said.
Okay. Okay.
But I am glad that they had the local tabloid on microfiche for them.
It's true.
Was it?
That was handy.
It tabloid or just? God damn it! Sorry. This child is concerned for me, as you should, child.
Well, it was definitely sick and sad news for
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah.
Sick
I
and
thought
sad
it
world.
was just like paranormal news kind of thing.
Well,
Like
yeah,
Elvis
that's
is. What was the one about Elvis? Elvis was cloned or something.
cloned by aliens. Yeah.
Cloned by aliens, yeah.
It's
Men in
like
Black
the
and
print
Elvis.
version of Coast to Coast with Art Bell or George Newry.
Bat Boy.
Hmm?
Right, Bat Boy. Bat Boy.
Yeah.
What was that?
That boy lives.
Loch Ness the Monster, Bigfoot,
Gave
like
out True
the
City.
Star or like Weekly World News. Yeah, they're not technically tabloids, but they fall in that same kind of category.
Yeah, it's got all the real news in it. That's what Men in Black told us, right?
The National
Whatever you
Enquirer.
say.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Kayla hasn't seen Men in Black.
I have not.
That's all right. A lot of people haven't seen a lot of movies.
Yeah. Or like
I've seen a lot of other fucking movies.
for the Sundered Veil, the urban fantasy game I run on Twitch for Dice Thespians, we came up with a fictional coast to coast. We call it Weird America.
Nice. Nice. I'm trying to remember. Did this episode had it had Robert Englund in it, right?
No.
No? Damn it. Never mind.
That's all right. Quip already said it.
Yeah. Well, that's what threw me off. I was like, wait, was he in
What?
the episode?
God damn it! It doesn't actually give away anything.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
Because
anything.
also at this point, you're expecting to get some kind of like flashback, you know?
Some sort of premium cameo.
Yeah. The eyes have it.
Can you just sit? Siéntate, child.
You know, this series really put a lot of life back into Running Up That Hill, though. I just have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
It's a great
for
song.
me, they used that as one of the songs for the promo packages for one of the, I think it was the final Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels match at WrestleMania, where like Michaels put his career on the line. So like I associate it with wrestling more than anything else. So it's weird hearing it, but it's never a good song to hear in your.
AKA grown man soap opera.
Yes.
100%.
is theater.
Theater.
In
Culture.
in the square. When
Yeah.
you say not theater
The
in the round.
squared circle.
Squared circle.
Squared circle.
Yeah.
Anything else about the end of this episode? Ow, your paws hurt.
Nope. I don't have anything else.
Oh, I did like, because I don't want to pile on to Mike, but I did like the scene. I don't remember which of these 3 episodes it was in now, but like when he did have like the conversation with Jane / 11, telling her that she was a superhero, like trying to like he was like actually trying to like, you know, be supportive a bit
Yeah.
in that scene. It didn't work, but he was at least trying.
Yep, that was this episode.
That was
He
episode
tried to
3.
bring
Yeah, when he
Okay.
took her the Eggos.
those. Yep, and she
Okay.
was
Yeah.
working on the Dio.
And he thinks he's helping. She's like, I'm not a superhero anymore. You're not helping. That's not what I have a problem with. And literally the whole time he was talking, because this would be me if I was her too, still does not say that he loves her. I was like, you fucking idiot. You stupid.
To be fair to him-
Stupid.
He is a teenage boy, so they're notoriously
mean-
very stupid.
I
And
don't
also
think
doesn't
that
change.
improves ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just having
As my
been one-
mom taught me, one of my favorite things to say, men or boys don't grow up, they just get bigger. Which I don't think she realized the innuendo of that because she is a prude. Yes, my mom is a prude, surprising to everyone.
We all rebel in our own way.
Yeah. She once again pronounced labia wrong and it will never leave my brain.
Insert Fry shocked meme.
it was right on the tip of her tongue.
Ah. She pronounced it labia.
That sounds like a European country you might visit.
Yeah. Like,
We're
labia.
going on a
isn't that
backpacking
where-
trip to
We're going to
Labia.
labia.
Isn't that where Doctor Doom is from?
And it's not far off from Libya.
I mean, it's just down the
Or
road
Latvia.
Or
from wait. From
Eslali. Estonia.
you have to go
Or
up the
Latveria.
road
Lithuania.
to Clitoria. It's up there.
Hulkamania?
That's at like the the top there.
You're not listening to what he's saying, Johnny.
I'm just choosing
Pretoria.
to not
Okay. And
It's somewhere in the curtains.
Labia. Yeah.
Labia.
Okay, that's still not the vagina.
It's the gateway.
It's what
It's the first gateway. It's the first
hopper.
wall. There's the
It's
outer.
like the pearly gates.
There's the outer labia, then there's the inner labia.
Yeah, it's like the pearly gates opening to the Holy Land.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm glad it's
Pretty
late.
much.
Oh boy.
We are a sex positive channel.
It's true.
Yes, we are. The more you know. Because
We just
honestly,
lost a
the more
viewer.
you know.
I said we are a sex positive channel, and the eyeball went boom down.
Why, I never.
Well, I do
All
declare.
right.
All right.
Johnny,
Have
since
this
you've never
for that.
watched this before, what are your predictions for the next episode / the rest of the season?
As much as I can predict based on the little kind of things that I remember, I don't think that Max is going to die. I might be wrong, but I don't recall. But I don't think they're going to kill her off. I'm sure 11 is going to eventually get her powers back. I know about the whole... I don't know what episode it's in, but a lot of people talked about the epic scene with Eddie playing the guitar in the Upside Down as they were like storming Vecna's mansion. I'm not 100% certain exactly what was going on, but and isn't Running Up the Hill, or no, is it a Metallica song that he's playing? I don't remember.
Metallica asked him
You'll-
to play with them. Oh, okay.
I think it was a Metallica song. I don't remember what song. but I'm
And
pretty
then
sure
join
I
them
remember
on
it was
stage later.
that it was a Metallica song.
That's
Yeah, so that was funny when Mark said in our chat beforehand that he was in Quiet Place Day One. I put together that it was the same actor, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
You didn't realize that?
No, I had no idea that it was the same dude. I watched Quiet Place
you-
Day One like a couple weeks ago.
The wig does do
That's
a lot.
funny because I watched it.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
maybe
been cast
2
as
months
the
ago.
Human Torch, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's also in Gladiator 2.
Yes.
Gladiator.
He
Fairly
is. He
newer.
looks very different in that with the makeup.
Which is
Glad
funny
more.
because he's interacting with Pedro Pascal in that, so it's Mr. Fantastic talking to the Human Torch.
but he's good because he's a completely different character in Quiet Place.
He's great. I'm so glad this role showed how good of an actor he is to like give him these other roles now.
Agreed.
Gladiator 2, Electric Boogaloo.
This show has launched
Excuse
a lot
me.
of careers.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Gladiator.
Gladiator. God, this thing is still okay. No more jokes. All right. Anything else before we move on to That's What They Said? Sadly, there's not too many of them.
Nope.
Was there a document for that? Did I miss it?
I sent it on Discord. Yes.
Can I
There it
briefly
is. Got
talk
it.
about the Max scene?
Johnny, take your headphones off. I'll wave you back in.
Okay.
Just really quick.
No one say anything in the chat because Johnny has not seen it
Don't-
yet.
Don't spoil.
Don't give it away.
Johnny, I just want to talk about it really quick because I'm not going to be on that episode, but I like that scene a lot. So, just want to say when you guys get to that, I'm going to watch the episode when you guys do it, but that scene is, I think, one of the best scenes in the show just because of the mixture of like the pacing for that, the editing for it, the emotion with it, with the music laying over it, and then like, you know, layering in like the scenes that are kind of showing what Max is thinking about in that. I had told Kayla that I watched that scene again today by itself, and just like in like a vacuum by itself too, and that scene just by itself made me cry again. Like just a good scene.
Hits
And
all
also
the feels.
Sadie Sink should have won
Everything.
something, for this season.
Everything.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say. All right, you're good,
Chris, do
Jen.
you want to say anything about
Oh yeah,
it?
go ahead.
Nope.
Anyway.
I can chat when the day comes.
Okay.
Okay. You're good.
You're muted.
Oh, and you're muted.
Hey, you did the thumbs up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. And
Yeah.
then you were all like, no.
Yeah.
I just do
No,
thumbs up all the time. That's my bad.
What? So, which
I said when
episode is
I
this
waved
scene
at
in
you.
that you were
I think
talking
it's
about?
The
I
next
think it's going to
episode.
be the next one you guys do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, why did I just? close that?
Anyways.
God damn it!
Does everyone have their That's What They Said up and
Yes.
ready?
I did.
For
Now
the-
I do.
Shoot. Hold on.
It's on Discord. Johnny.
Yes,
get
I'm
your
good.
life together. There's not
I
that
clo-
many.
I closed all the things out because I didn't want it to take up bandwidth on my computer. Hold on. Bring that. Close that. This one. Close that one. I'll just take it forever. Come on, Discord. Hurry the F up.
Any year now. This is
Oh, that
great
reminds
fun.
me when they were high, when Argyle
shit.
and Jonathan were high, and they were coming back from the skating rink, and they
Blip.
just kept saying "bing" or "blip" or whatever.
Blip.
Like in my head, I'm like, are they doing the dun 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 dun
They
dun
were.
dun 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 dun
They
dun 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 dun?
Which is funny because on a daily basis, either when I'm like running around doing something or it is when I'm running out and doing something, like literally running around with like a chicken with its head cut off, I sing that song in my head all the
I
time.
will randomly at times just burst out in dun 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 for no apparent reason.
Exactly.
Okay. I
Mine
got
kind
mine.
of has a reason. you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready, Eddie.
We'll do Chris, Mark, Johnny, then me.
Oh man,
So-
God damn. God. I just saw
Sorry.
what the second one is.
Okay. Don't force it. Let it come to you.
Hold on, I have to get in character. You've been a good boy.
We're doing it my way.
We can take turns.
Can you fill them in?
Yes, sir.
Where do you want it?
She's in.
We can do this the hard way.
Yay!
Yay! That's what they said for Stranger Things Season 4, Episodes 1 through 3.
My regret is not doing clown voice on any of that.
Next time.
We can do this the hard way.
That's terrifying.
Kayla recently learned a new joke about clowns.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
from the Richmond Way Patreon.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Never see clowns the same way ever again. I fucking hate clowns. I hated clowns as a kid. I didn't like people
Same.
that were just dressed up as something else. So, like, I was also very scared of Santa Claus when I was really little.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like, when I, like, past, like...
So David Harbour.
no, because he's
It's a
daddy.
Violent Night.
I love that movie, actually. But, like, I think past maybe the age of, like, 6 or 7, I got over it. But when I was really little, I did not like them, which was ironic because my dad came to my preschool dressed as Santa, and I was still scared of him. Because I didn't realize it was my dad.
I wonder if it's a thing that you don't understand, because I remember when I was like 5 for my birthday, my mom had there was a place called the Balloon Bag that did like balloons and party stuff. She sent someone in a Care Bears costume to my kindergarten class, and I was so fucking afraid of this Care Bear. I wonder if there's something before a certain age where we don't understand what costumes are.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
is that?
so, or just like, why is someone in some like pretending to be someone else? You know?
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That wasn't a Care Bear. It was a Scare Bear.
The Care Bear stare.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They scare a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right.
think those are called fugglers.
All right, let's keep the F out of here. But before we do, tell the people where they can find you. Chris, you go first. What you got
I
going
am
on?
sometimes on my own channel, Shiny Plastic People. Not a lot lately, but more regularly, I will promote Alice and Troy, Retro Toy Princess, where I color with her once a
Aw.
month. So check out Alice and Troy.
Love that. And Mr. Mark?
Well, I mean, I will second that Alison Troy is also an awesome person. You should also follow her account too.
Yes.
I will say though, if you like me talking about TV, go to richmondwaypod.com. It's all Ted Lasso rewatch podcast with myself. That's one person. Myself, Mike Soren, and our friend Bonnie Marie Williams. Then do a Star Wars podcast. It's holopod.com. Chris has been on there. Kayla and Johnny have been on there. And then Animation Fascination, which I think maybe only Johnny has been on.
I think
Yeah,
so.
I
I was on
Yeah.
for the What If stuff over the holiday
Yeah.
last year.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and that's at animationfascination.net. So those are all the places if you want.
Awesome. Yeah, everyone, make sure to go check them out. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Say no more.
Yeah, thanks everyone who watched us live, or if you're watching on the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Make sure to smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon. You can find us on Instagram at GTFO channel. We are smacking all the things. hopefully we'll start Track Retrack soon. But every Friday for the rest of the month, the next 2 Fridays, we'll be talking about Stranger Things, same time, same place. Next week, we will be having Shauna and Chris.
Yeah, should be both of them.
Yes, from Diced Thespians. They've both been on before for Stranger Things. And then the last Friday of the month, we will have Derek Hoover, who is in the chat currently. And this is the first time he'll be on the channel, which is very exciting. And Tony Taylor Toys, who's been on before, I think a couple times for Stranger Things, Phantasm Toys. Very excited about. Yes.
We will have a giveaway too on the last week. We have that Vecna Funko Pop.
Yes, that's right.
We have a limited edition Vecna Funko Pop that was provided to us by our friends at Gameoloticon. Oh, good.
Oh, that'll be different.
Weird.
Weirder than
Yeah. Weirder than it is now.
No.
I'm gonna have
Is
to
that
watch that
possible?
episode first, definitely then.
So we will have a limited edition Vecna Funko Pop to give away on our finale of Stranger Things coverage.
Very exciting. Very exciting. All right, everyone.
Tuesday? Monday? Monday. Do you want to talk about Monday?
Yes. Tune in Monday. Make sure to have that bell icon smacked if you love Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Most likely 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll have some guests. I don't want to say for sure who yet, but
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Be there, be square.
We won't.
Just don't lose your sweet stuff. Yeah.
All right, everybody.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for geeking the F out with us.
What is
There
it?
you go.
Bye. Is there going to be music?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it was just really quiet for a second. Lasers. Pew pew.
Break down.
People can still
Break
hear
down.
this. This is
Yes,
fun.
they can.
Yes, they can. This is my favorite
Nothing is happening.
Easter eggs.
part. We're all having
All-
an orgy now.
I mean,
You just can't.
but you'll
see
never
it.
know. Schrodinger's cat.
You'll never know.
Oh no, my pants!
Chris,
Chris,
are
put
you
your
inviting me
pants
to a
back
pants
on.
party?